Thank you. Could we have the Christchurch City Council Public Art Advisory Group? We have Deborah McCormick and Paul Lonsdale.
Change hats.
Hello, Paul. See you. I haven't seen you for so long, you know.
I'm just changing hats.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing the same actually. I'm here today as Anthony Wright, the chair of PAG, as an apology, and a long founding member of PAG, Dame Adrian Stewart, is also an apology. So it's as the executive director of Scape Public Art, who's a major recipient of the Public Art Fund of Council, I'm here to take you through the submission today. I'd like to acknowledge Paul Lonsdale, who is a member of the Public Art Advisory Group. I'd also like to acknowledge Lara Strongman, who's here with us in the audience, who is one of the specialist curators in public art in our city, and she's a senior curator at the Christchurch Art Gallery. Now, you would have all have received a letter from Dame Adrian Stewart, I'm sure, in terms of supporting our submission, and she wishes to acknowledge that the Christchurch City Council's support and commitment to public art has been fantastic. However, she says, I'm deeply disappointed to see that this funding has not been continued in the draft long-term plan, particularly in the 10th year history of Public Art Advisory Group, in which we should be celebrating the fact that we have achieved everything in our 10-year plan. I'm just going to give you a quick overview. I'm very thrilled to see that in the long-term plan that you're using public artworks to celebrate both your internal and external communication, so that's just fantastic. I'd just like to take you through, just as a helicopter view, to see what PAG is and what we've been up to. So we established in 2007. It was actually Dame Adrian Stewart and myself who made a submission to the LTP, supported by Jenny Harper, to get a fund. There wasn't a fund, so we advocated through that plan to get $250,000. I'll take you through some of the things that we've achieved. There are members there of the Public Art Advisory Group. It's very important to have a specialist, separate, independent group of council to commission public art. I'm the staff member in attendance at that. In terms of our goals, I won't go through them in a lot of detail. I really want to get to what we're here today, which is to talk to you about the reinstatement of the Public Art Fund. We just want to give you a really good overview of the works that we have done in terms of public art. So we're playing an advocacy role, we're considering applications for funding. Scape has been the biggest recipient of that funding, and we've produced the public artworks in partnership with the council. We've hosted events to advocate for other matched funding from private developers and from engineers and other people to integrate public art into the building spaces of Christchurch. And one of the most recent examples of that is the work just across the road in the KEB development, which is called Pupu Harakiki. In terms of the results, we have achieved a great deal, and over the period, $8 million of public art over 10 years has been produced. $6 million of that has been generated by the private sector and sponsors from match funding, and $2 million has come from council. So for every $3 that we achieve, council has given us $1, so in total $4. So we're doing really much better than the original intent, which was a match fund. So we're matching your dollar with $3. In terms of the artworks, we're really thrilled to see the art has survived. Now, this piece will be back installed in August in time for the Scape 20-year anniversary. It was really a beacon when a lot of the landmarks in the central city weren't there. All of these works have been produced by the Public Art Advisory Group. Passing Time outside Ara Institute, a reinstatement of this work, which has been moved to the Christchurch Art Gallery outside there. Skylens, these are all pre-quake, these works. And then you see the great story of art surviving. All of these artworks that were produced survived. Then recent works have really been a hero of the rebuild. So tree houses for swamp dwellers, many, many works. The Solidarity Grid work, which is going to be celebrated with an international book launch with the artist Misha Kabal, where this project was conceived to bring the gift of light from 21 cities around the globe to Christchurch. It's been celebrated internationally as a hero project in terms of public art. It's here in our city. And this crowd pleaser, a major public work which has also been supported by the Public Art Advisory Group, as well as fanfare here, which is standing proud as the entrance and a new way to envisage the city as a creative city. Anthony Gormley works, all of these works have been produced by the Public Art Advisory Group. In terms of current projects that we have, we're looking to secure this very popular work in the Botanic Gardens, Diminish and Ascend, after an approach from the Friends of the Botanic Gardens. We're very close to securing that, and we hope to be able to announce that for our 20th. We're looking to bring back a celebrated artwork which has had international acclaim. It's a work of Nathan Pohio, who is a local Ngāi Tahu artist. We produced it in Christchurch in 2008, and then it went to Auckland for the Walters Prize and to one of the biggest art exhibitions in the world in Kassel, Germany. This project is a project that we're committed to securing for Christchurch. It depicts Lord and Lady Plunkett visiting Tuahiwi Marae in 1905, flanked by the local kaumātua going to greet them. So it's a historic image, but it also talks very powerfully to the cultural relation between Ngāi Turihiriri and the city. You can see it's a light box, it's double-sided, and we're currently working with council staff to have that installed later this year. You can see here it is in Germany. And pipeline projects. We're working with Ngāi Tahu on a major entrance artwork called Ngānutu, which is to create gateways or waharoa, significant artworks that frame our central city, create places of celebration. But also been approached off the back of the very successful fanfare by NZTA to develop an artwork for Cranford Street Roundabout. We're in the very early stages of this project, but we're looking to celebrate a public artwork to welcome people at the urban edge to the city. So I think you can see that we have achieved much, and we've proven that everything installed pre-quake has survived and stood proud. After the briefest of drawing breath post-earthquake, we got straight back into delivering great public art. At the 10th anniversary of the Public Art Fund, we have achieved everything in our 10-year strategic plan. The city now owns an enviable, top-flight public art collection by national and international artists. We think we're on the cusp of catching up to cities like Wellington and Auckland that have large public art collections, and it's gutting to have our funding cut when we're on such a great trajectory. This funding disappearance threatens the unbelievable, more than matched funding that we've been able to achieve from the private sector. And after consideration regarding the work required to reinstate a number of artworks post-earthquakes, plus keeping in mind the reduced level of funding being requested in a difficult financial climate of the Council, the Public Art Advisory Group would like to request that the following as a minimum financial contribution be provided to enable our work over the next 3 years. That $150,000 per annum for 3 years, totalling $450,000, be made available to commission 1 or 2 new public artworks, and that $50,000 per annum for 3 years, totalling $150,000, be allocated towards reinstatement of a number of key artworks in the city. That makes the total contribution of $600,000, $200,000 each year. We have looked at reducing that for what we currently had previously received. That's a reduction of about $50,000 to $70,000 per annum. As in the past, we would leverage this funding. I've got some statements here from Dame Adrian that I'd just like to read out, because I know she'd feel very passionate about this if she was here. Christchurch needs to be a confident cultural city with a global view to regeneration that reflects its cultural diversity, energy and creativity. There is greater community connectedness through the wide diversity of the arts and the on-flowing community educational benefits this brings. Just do it. It's about place, process, presence, and there is immense potential. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do people have any questions? Anne?
Thank you very much for the work that you do. A city so enriched by your work. Just, is there an opportunity for developers to be required to give a percentage towards public art when they develop, something in the city or in the city somewhere? Is that been thought about, or is it?
It has been thought about,
yeah.
And we did submit into the blueprint process around it, but it wasn't picked up. But it's definitely something that I have a lot of background information on. I've studied models of it overseas. It would be a wonderful model here. It would be brilliant to pilot it in some areas, and I think there's a huge potential. This time feels right to do it. When we submitted, when there were so many priorities on the city, city's coffers and businesses really wanting to create confidence in the city, the timing wasn't right, but I think that there's a huge opportunity for this in the city now.
I wonder how we can.
Well, we can follow that up as part of our deliberations. Look, thank you very much, and I'm just mindful of the fact that we've come to the end of our 10 minutes, and but you can stay where you are, Deborah, because